On today's hot sheet, I'm discussing the Redfin Home Price Index just released, a new report on down payments, and mortgage application update for the week. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. I am Byron Lazine, and your hot sheet starts now. Good morning, and let me know which market you are tuning in live from. I am here in Basilton. I think it's Basilton or Brazelton, Georgia. As I took a red eye from Las Vegas last night, arrived here at the Chateau Alon in Georgia for Realtor.com. I did sign an NDA for Realtor.com, so I imagine that is the only thing I'm allowed to say. I don't even know if I was allowed to say I'm here, but there you go. This is the hot sheet. We keep it real, and that's just the way it goes. We got a lot to unpack here with the Redfin Home Price Index just released, as well as speaking of Realtor.com, a Realtor.com down payment report. Shout out to Realtor.com too, by the way, for sporting BAM Mania last week. Really appreciate that, as well as, of course, Zoo Delio, who is also supporting the hot sheet, first ever partnership we've launched to support the hot sheet. And every BAMX member right now is getting a Zoodelio platform as part of being BAMX. Zoodelio, you can check them out, what that platform can do for you to get you more listings and help you compete against any iBuyer in your market, create four offers instantly for your seller. Zoodelio, all the bells and whistles included on their normal package inside of BAMX. Use code ZOO to get in BAMX right now. All right. Let's get into the home prices from Redfin, their home price index reports. And Bobby, as I go through these, Bobby's on the other end, of course, helping out. Bobby's had a few days here to recover from Vegas, so he should be really fresh, I would imagine. Bobby's going to help me out on the back end. There we go. Home prices grew 0.5% according to Redfin's data month over month in September. It's the fastest pace since April for home price growth. Of course, prices are still growing at a decelerating pace from what we've seen prior, but this September being the fastest pace since April on a year-over-year basis, we now see home prices at a 6% gain, which would be the smallest increase since December. So that's that deceleration that just mentioned there. Congratulations to the Brad Vondruk group with an accepted offer for a seller yesterday. Congrats there. 13 of the 15 most populous U.S. mesters recorded a drop in home prices month over month. That's expected as we continue to get into the season here. Some of the biggest declines to note were in September were San Antonio, Texas, down 1%, followed by Fort Lauderdale at down just about 0.1%, or I'm sorry, a full percent down. Fort Worth, Texas was a 0.5%. The highest month over month gains were recorded in Nassau County, New York, that's 1.7%, Philly at 1.6%, and Virginia Beach almost at 1.5%. Mortgage affordability improved in September when rates dropped as low as 6.08%. Of course, we've seen that recede. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. So expect, obviously, until something changes there, affordability to be a top issue amongst buyers. Anytime we get close to 7, yesterday I think we hit 6.85. Bobby, if you want to pull up the 30-year fix from yesterday where we closed out, pretty sure that was 6.85 on the 30-year fix. So inching towards 7, depending obviously on the credit, it's gonna be in that range. Yeah, there you go, 6.85 yesterday after 6.82. So last 2 days with the 10-year popping off of Fed's comments, we're seeing an interest rate near 7%, and that's when affordability really becomes an issue again. Of course, year over year, about 52 weeks ago, I think it was October 19th of last year, we saw over 8% on the 30-year fix. So still doing better than that, but we've lost a lot of the gains that we've had since July, clearly. They were around 20%. This is a Redfin senior economist right out of the hot sheet show notes. I'm sorry, Kim, I am sorry you missed BAM Mania as well, but guess what? I'm already getting a bunch of DMs. By the way, you can connect with me at Byron Lazine on Instagram for some of the attendees that did come this year saying, "Hey, when are you going to announce dates for next year? I want to lock in my tickets." So Kim, we'll make sure that you too get those dates to lock in early so you can make sure you can come next year. Senior economist from Redfin said there are 20% fewer homes on the market today than there were 5 years ago, mainly because so many homeowners locked in more low mortgage rates with the pandemic. The mortgage rates above 6.5% this month, unlikely to drop below 6% this year. Okay. Home prices will likely continue their consistent climb until more inventory comes on the market. So, predicting basically a senior economist there for Redfin, and you can grab these show notes inside of BAMX, predicting the lock-in effect to make a little bit of a comeback here at the end of the year. Doesn't see the 30-year fix going below 6% between now and the start of 2025. When there was, some momentum heading in that direction where it's like, hey, maybe we're going to get to Walmart pricing of 5.99 for, for the 30-year fix to close out the year. It doesn't look that way. It looks like my prediction on the Knowledge Broker podcast with Tom and Lisa, the beginning of this year is going to come in true. And everybody was talking about the year of the fives. I was adamant that that was not going to be the case. Looks like that will unfortunately come true. We weren't rooting for that, but that is the reality. And it's the other reality is if you're rooting for a fast drop, you're rooting for bad things to happen, some type of recession or some type of job loss. All right, moving over to Realtor.com. My friends over at Realtor.com have put out a report on down payments. Okay, so down payments are falling slightly in quarter three to 14.5% after reaching a peak of 14.9% in quarter two. Now, what happened in quarter three? We saw that interest rate moving down. Jason, good morning, and you're back in California. Good for you. I just got here to Georgia, actually, and took a red eye in. So got to see Jason out there in Vegas as well. Glad you made it home. But so from quarter two to quarter three, obviously we saw a 30-year fix that was declining. Now it's back up. So it makes sense that the down payment, was higher in quarter two, 14.9% versus 14.3% in quarter three. As the 30-year fix increases for those buyers that have the need to buy, that want to buy right now, for them to increase that down payment is really important so that they can get a payment that they feel comfortable with. So here's the personal savings rate for buyers. It has not it's not recovered. Personal savings rate has recovered, though not to pre-pandemic levels. Okay, so climbed to a post-pandemic peak of 5.5% in January 2024, has fallen since to 4.8% in August. The recent fall in savings rate has taken a toll in excess savings, and the nest egg built up during the pandemic has not been fully depleted, and so there's still some excess personal savings, and that's fueling both overall consumption that we're seeing that, oh my gosh, the consumer is still consuming. And also home down payment growth. Okay, so during the pandemic, the personal savings rate averaged 6.5%. So 6.5% versus 4.8% today. And not a huge drop there, but that is a drop. Nationwide, sales prices and down payments. By the way, all the charts will be available for you inside of BAMX. Use code ZOO if you're not in BAMX today to grab your membership and your access into the community and everything that we're putting into there. Sale prices growth and down payment growth with the mortgage rate attached. So up on the top there, you've got median down payment or primary median down payment in terms of dollars. And again, that's up over $20,000 there for that category. You have 14% on primary average down payment as a percentage. Okay, so 14%. Again, that came down from 14.9 to 14.5. So that's where that's trending. The median sale price, obviously being up over 300,000 on this category, and mortgage rate, obviously being elevated into the sixes and sevens. Average down payment as a percent of purchase price going over the quarters here now, Bobby. We go to 2021 quarter three was only 12.5%. Quarter three of 2024, again, up to the 14.5%. So that's a difference of 24,000 versus 30,000 when you look at 21 to 24. The states right now that have the largest down payment growth in 2024 would be Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, New Jersey. So, and I think you're on the wrong one there, Bobby. If you could just go to states with largest down payment, with Maine at the top, that'll be the one that you want. So Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, New Jersey, and these are at 16%. 16.6 Rhode Island, 16.6 for Connecticut. And nope, I'm sorry, you're still pulling the wrong one. Anyways, there it is. Vermont 17.5%, New Jersey at 18.1%. That was just quarter three of 23. Now look at it in quarter four or quarter three 24. You got Maine at 18%, Rhode Island up over 18%, Connecticut at 18, Vermont over 18.5, and Jersey at 19.1%. So year over year changes all at 1% to 2% for all five of the leaders with states with largest down payment growth, dominating in the Northeast as the inventory is lower, than any other region in the country. And so that makes, already dealing with elevated prices versus, maybe the median across, middle America in the Northeast. So you've already got a high price, you've got low inventory. You're going to have a demand for a bigger down payment for buyers. Okay. Going to states with the largest down payment dollar growth. If you look at what this equates to in dollars, Rhode Island right now $60,000 for the median down payment. Delaware's at 53,000. Wisconsin at 35,000. Nevada at $40,000, and Ohio at 18,000. So a little bit more affordable there in Ohio year over year. It's only a $3,400 increase. States with the biggest down payment decline, okay, would be DC, Florida. That's in year over year percentage drops. That's 3.8%, 1.7% respectively. Idaho, Alaska, Montana, South Dakota, Arizona, Texas, New Hampshire, and Georgia. If I'm in one of these states, I'm reaching out to my buyers in my database and saying, hey, down payments are getting more affordable right now, right? People are shopping based off down payment, and payments speak that language. States with biggest down payment declines in terms of dollars are Florida, Texas, Wyoming, DC, South Dakota, Georgia, and South Carolina, Alabama, Montana, and North Dakota. Year over year in Florida, 8,500 down. DC year over year, 17,400 down. Georgia, the state I'm sitting in right now, is 3,000 down. Okay. There's a whole bunch more data in there. And they've got a whole breakdown for regionally. So if you're looking for local, if you're looking to really dig into where you can, articulate what's going on in your local market, we've pulled all of that for you inside of the hot sheet show notes in BAM X. Finishing off with the senior economist on this Realtor.com report, Hannah Jones. Maybe Hannah will be here, and maybe we can get her on the Knowledge Brokers pod at some point. We'll see what happens with Hannah. The annual decline in down payments is the result of less buyer competition in the third quarter. Now, we do have more pending sales in quarter three of this year than last year, but there's less competition. The last few weeks, in terms of mortgage demand, and we're about to get into mortgage demand here in a second, but we've actually seen demand go up the last 4 weeks. I know that's start of quarter four, essentially. So less competition in the third quarter. We did see less demand in the third quarter. So she's right about that. Easing demand and increasing inventory give buyers more flexibility in Q3. Also, you had you had a 30-year fix that was trending all the way down to 6% at one point, not today, which that led to those lower down payments. The recent drop in mortgage rates could pave the way for more competition. But that is now seemingly an outdated quote with what's going on in mortgages. Switching over to mortgages, you could throw up the mortgage application chart, Bobby, if you will. MBA's weekly mortgage application survey for the week ending October 18th is out. It reports a 6.7 decline in mortgage applications. Purchase activity is up 3% year over year. So that to me is the bigger number. Now we're at 4 or 5 weeks of year over year growth on purchase activity. So 3% year over year purchase activity up. That's what we're looking for to get those small wins versus last year. Now we were talking about 8 and 7% in the weeks prior. Now as we are up to 6.85 on the 30-year fix, you're seeing that gap between last year start to close. If we cross 7% again, I think we could be facing negatives. Refinance applications were down 8% from the previous week. And this is all based on a 6.52 30-year fixed on the aggregate for the week of October 18th. Again, right now we're up over 6.85, so we'll see what the data comes in next week. The purchase week over week decreased 5%, but again, up 3% year over year. You can see, obviously, on the mortgage purchase application index that we have the lowest demand on mortgages still currently since 1995. There's your 30-year fixed update in mortgage applications for the week. Again, 30-year fixed coming in at 6.85. Right now, the 10-year starting the day at 4.25. So we're continuing to see an elevated 10-year here over the last 48-72 hours, 4.24. Start the day. And this is really and S&P 500. You see the top of the CNBC ticker. S&P 500 is as the market has opened, falling for the third straight day as the Treasury yields continue to rise off of the uncertainty of what the Fed is going to do. The benchmark index on track for the third day with the S&P 500 falling and Treasury yields marching higher. So we'll see what happens here. But right now, the Fed is saying, hey, we're not sure if we're going to make more than one cut, more than a quarter point cut. The market had basically a, half a point between probably two meetings, November 7th and being the next meeting and December 18th being the one following, two before the end of the year. Right now, 90% chance CME says that we will see a quarter point on that November 7th meeting, 9% chance that they do nothing. All right, there is your hot sheet. Tomorrow, I agree, Jason. Ruthie had a phenomenal story. And Ruthie, really appreciate you being in the room. You what you shared and just how authentic you are was amazing part of the BAMX VIP Day experience. Thank you, everybody, again, that was able to, or not BAMX, BAM Mania VIP experience, but thank you, everybody that was able to make it to BAM Mania. I've gotten a bunch of questions about what's going on next year. As soon as we know, attendees will know first. BAMX members, of course, will know immediately after that before anything goes public. And based off feedback, we are really looking forward to doing that again. So there you go. Ruthie, I'm not sure if that message is for me. I'm not in Vegas anymore. I took a red eye last night here to Georgia at the realtor meeting, and we'll see how that goes. I signed an NDA, but maybe, who knows? Maybe I can break it. No, I will not be breaking it. Realtor.com if you're watching, of course. Also, tomorrow there will be no hot sheet. I will be in meetings, so we're going to have to take tomorrow off of the hot sheet. My apologies on that. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week. I do believe we will have a Knowledge Brokers pod on Friday. So should have that ready for you guys over on the at Knowledge Brokers channel. If you'd like to connect with me, find me over at Instagram at Byron Lazine. Hope everybody has a great day. Until next time, toodaloo.